I'm going live pretty late in the day, so if you're used to watching me in the morning or early afternoon, I am live late in the day, and it's because I went skiing this morning, and I probably look like I'm still skiing. I have no makeup on, fresh with wind in my face, snow in my face, the alpine experience. Anyways, I'm excited to be live with you. I just want to go live to remind everybody that we do have an anonymous coming up tomorrow, a herpes live anonymous call. So I just wanted to do a reminder about that. Anyways, this is your opportunity here on this live to ask your questions. They don't have to be so intense. They can be whatever you would like your questions to be. The purpose of me doing the Herpes Anonymous, the live anonymous questions, are for you to ask the questions that you wouldn't want to ask on social media. Because you're like, I don't want my boss to know that I have herpes, or I wouldn't want my wife to know that I have herpes, or I wouldn't want whatever. Kenzie, what's up, Kenzie? So the idea of this is to ask those questions that you're like, oh my gosh, I would die if somebody knew I had them. They're affordable. They are $5. At least right now, they're $5. Tomorrow, I'm going live here on TikTok. It is February 28th at 9 a.m. If you can't make it, that is totally fine. NBD, no big deal. You'll get an email sent to you, time-stamped with your question. So I will send it to you. So the $5 is Herpes Anonymous, and what I'm doing is I wanted to set up something because like you guys will ask some questions, but I feel like they're pretty like superficial, meaning like they're very like light. And I know that when I do my emergency calls with you guys, they're like really heavy, deep, talking about infidelity, talking about, relationships, talking about being a parent, talking about all sorts of things that have to do with herpes. And these are things that you probably wouldn't want to ask on social because it's embarrassing or like, what if somebody knew, right? So anyways, it's $5 a question. You email me your question and I will answer it live, and you get an email time-stamped where I answer it live. It'll be put on YouTube within the next 48 hours or something. So anyways, it's a great way for you, a great affordable way for you to ask your pressing question and see how you want to answer it. I've been seeing lots of questions come in recently about relationships, a lot of dating relationships, a lot of things like that. There's my little boy. So
Mommy, I have a silly dilly bar.
Silly dilly bar.
Yeah.
This is my little boy, you guys. We went skiing today, and you have your Mickey ski. You want to tell them about your jumps?
We went in the forest.
We went in the forest, and did we do big jumps today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went on really big ones.
Really big jumps. Yeah, if you guys follow me on Instagram, my personal...
I fell on the biggest one.
You did fall on the biggest one, but you did pretty good. Mommy wouldn't go on that one. It's way too big.
But it's not too big for me.
No, it's not. So if you guys want to see his big jumps, it's on my personal Instagram at Alexandra Harbushka. You can see it. I'm going to post it in a little bit. Okay. So this is your opportunity to ask your questions that you have about living with HSV. It doesn't have to be, it could be whatever you want. It could be a lot in the life with herpes. Was anyone here just diagnosed? Was anybody here just going, OMG, what do I do with my life? Because that's exactly how I felt back in 2011. I was alone. I was scared. I felt like I was drowning. I felt like I was suffocating. I felt like nobody was going to love me. I felt like I would never become a mommy. As you can see, I am a mommy. I thought that I would never get to marry the man of my dreams, which I am married to. I thought that I would never get to live the life I wanted to live. I thought that I would have to be on antivirals my whole life. I thought that I would just kind of be an old maid and like have 37 cats. And there's nothing wrong with having 37 cats, but that's not what I wanted. And I believed that when I was diagnosed, that was what I just signed myself up for. Like I just let me sign up for this life. And I feel like a lot of people feel this way when we get herpes. We're like, what did I just do? We feel like we're being punished for something that we did. And I want you to change that mindset of like, okay, I'm not being punished, but I'm being shown a different way. So yeah, I'm being shown a different way of how I want to live my life. Wow, maybe I was living my life with the glass half empty. Now I'm going to live a life the glass half full, but I'm going to be forced to do some rewiring in my brain called neuroplasticity, which is a way to rewire your brain and help you rewire and live your best life. Emily said, you helped me get through my diagnosis. It changed my life. I have never been happier. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to hear that, Emily. Obviously, not that you got herpes, of course. Like, that's not what I'm happy to hear about. But I'm happy to hear that this platform, Life with Herpes, is able to support you. I've been talking about my herpes diagnosis publicly since 2017. I was diagnosed in 2000. I was diagnosed in 2011, and it was terrifying, right? Like, there was no social. You have to think back. Instagram was a couple of years old. Going live didn't exist. If you did a live meeting, it was a go-to meeting. And just the ability to speak openly about shit, speak openly about life didn't exist. So I'm glad that we have this technology, and I'm glad that I'm able to support people living with herpes. Guys, I want to just take a minute and draw attention to the live anonymous herpes questions. I'm going to be answering your anonymous questions tomorrow, which is February 28th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 12 Eastern. You don't have to be live. So if you submit your question, they're $5. Okay, it's $5. Submit your question via email. I will be answering it live. And the reason why I'm doing this is I feel that I get a lot of questions. I get hundreds of questions from you when I go live. They're very lighthearted. And when I do my one-on-one coaching and when I do my support group coaching, you guys get really deep, and that's where the healing really starts, and that's where the transformation really starts. And so I want to be able to provide that for you all for just $5, right? I want it to be affordable. I want it to be able to something that you guys can look at and utilize. Also, thank you for the hearts. I love seeing the hearts. And if you know someone that has herpes, please share this information with them. Life with Herpes platform. It is truly phenomenal. It is something I've put a lot of emphasis towards since 2017. So it's my way of paying it forward, I guess, paying it forward, just to support you all living with herpes. Is this witchcraft? No, this is not witchcraft. Why would you think this is witchcraft? I got diagnosed with herpes after the birth of my daughter in 2009. Oh, I'm so sorry. How are you doing? 2009 was a while ago, so you've definitely lived with it. You've dealt with it. How is it going? Is there anything I can do specifically to support you? Anything we can do to talk about? I would love, love, love to do that. Kelly said HSV1. So HSV1 can be HSV1 oral or HSV1 genital. It can be oral or genital. It can go both locations. HSV1 is getting smart. It's wanting to go down there. So if you have it up here and do things with your mouth on your partner, it can go down there. Are female condoms or male condoms better to reduce the female to male transition? So female condoms, which I'm trying to think of a way to describe one. If you have not seen a female condom, so it's basically much larger. And here's my vase. This is my vase. The female condom, so a male condom covers, let's say this is the male part. The male condom covers the male parts, right? A female condom, let's say this is the vaginal opening. It goes inside and then goes around the top. So actually a female condom, guys, I hope you like my demonstrations. So actually a female, sí, está bien. Hasta luego, gracias, tía. So actually a female condom is going to be a little more protecting. I personally have never used one. I know they're a little bit more difficult to buy and a little more expensive to buy. They're usually under lock and key. Potentially, if you go to your local clinic, they might have them a little more available. I'm not sure. Now, something to talk about when we're talking about condoms and preventing. I don't know the stats specifically for female condoms, but for regular condoms, it lessens the transmission 30 to 50% of the time. And the reason why is, let's go back to my demonstration, is you put the condom on, there's still area that is being exposed. Also on the male, there's legs, there's interior thighs, there's below the belly button. There's all those areas that we can have herpes and still infect our partner. So where condoms are great, they're especially great for fluid-based transmission, which would be other bacterial infections. For herpes, we don't always know where we have it. So for me, for example, I get outbreaks on my tailbone. So like using a condom, my tailbone isn't protected. Like it's not protecting my husband. Kelly, you found out Saturday of HSV1. I'm so sorry to find out. Is it oral or genital? Is it up here or down there? If it's up here, it's extremely common for other people to have it up here. If it's down there, it's also extremely common to have it down there. HSV1 is 2 out of 3 people have HSV1. So it's very, very common for people to have HSV1. Rosie said her ex-husband gave it to her and he found out later. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Did your ex-husband know he had it? Did he keep that from you? And that's something that I see a lot. I've seen that a lot in couples that are in their 80s where it comes out and I'm like, wow. So again, this is kind of what I'm talking about with the Herpes Anonymous. Ask your anonymous herpes questions and I will answer them live. So I'm answering them live tomorrow, February 28th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's $5 a question. Follow this link. It's the bit.ly link. And you will be able to, I should put it in. Oh my gosh, look at that. Boom. That's where you go for $5 to ask your anonymous question about herpes. You don't have to be on the live. That's not a problem. You'll get an email sent to you with the timestamp of where I answered your specific question. And I'll spend as much time as needed. And again, the idea was you guys will ask me really, really personal questions when we do our one-on-one coaching, we do our emergency calls, or we do our support group call. And I wanted to be able to offer that at a really affordable price. So $5. You keep getting sores. They swabbed for herpes twice. It's negative, but my doctor still thinks it is. Have you had a blood draw? Have you had an IgG blood draw? It depends on when you were introduced to the HSV virus. If it was recent, if it was like 2 weeks ago, you're probably going to test negative. If it's been like 3 months or longer, then that's a better opportunity to get a better read. If you're still, so the best test that's out there for herpes is called a Western blot, B-L-O-T. It's difficult though. This is not for the person that has already gotten a positive result and like, you have herpes, but you want to like prove that you don't. This is not for you, okay? This is for the person like you that's saying like, hey, I get sores, I'm getting swabbed, it's testing negative, I don't know, I'm getting equivocal test results, I don't know, getting this, getting that. Western blot is from the University of Washington, and you have to get it shipped to you directly, the kit. What you have to do is go to the phlebotomist, and then the phlebotomist will draw the blood. Then you take the blood back, which is typically not accustomed. So you have to call whatever phlebotomist where you go and say, can I take it with me? Because usually it's their property and they send it off to lab. You actually have to get it back, and then you send it back to the University of Washington. So it can be quite costly. I've heard people say it's like $500 around that, with the shipping, with the cost of the test, with paying the phlebotomist and things like that. So if you're still continuing to get these unanswered answers, that's probably going to be your best bet. Emily said she caught your herpes so early that it wasn't even in your bloodstream yet. Literally insane. Yeah, I know. If it's brand new, your body hasn't had its opportunity to make the antibody. So quick little thing, herpes doesn't live in our bloodstream, the antibodies do. Herpes it lives in our nervous system. Some people call it a nerve disease, and some people call it a skin disease. Is cold sore herpes? Yes, a cold sore is herpes. So they're both cold sores, fever blisters, sores, herpaderp, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It's all herpes. If you are ever in question about, hey, I have something on my mouth or in my mouth, go get it checked, go get it swabbed. Mostly the HSV virus prefers the outer portion of your lip, but it's not unheard of to have it in your mouth or on your throat. But the virus does prefer the outer lip. So that's something to look at. Also, don't forget your dentist. They are great. They're great to check out if you have questions. So am I married? Yes, I am married. Do I have herpes? Yes, I have herpes. I have HSV1 oral and HSV2 genital. Do I have kids? Yes, my son was just on earlier. He was asking me for an ice cream bar. So I was like, mommy doesn't give you ice cream bars. Daddy gives you ice cream bars. So go find daddy. But yeah, I am married. I have herpes and I am a mommy. But I wasn't married when I got herpes. So I was dating and I was in my 20s and I didn't get married. I was 28 when I got herpes and I got married at 34. So I had a lot of life to live before I settled down. So I did date. I did disclose. I did have successful relationships. I've never transmitted herpes. So I have had successful relationships. Guys, thanks for the hearts. I'm just going to give you some hearts to say thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. If you know someone that has herpes, please share Life with Herpes with them. I've been doing this publicly since 2017 and here to support you. Tomorrow, the 28th of February at 9 a.m. Pacific, I will be answering your anonymous questions live. So what you need to do, I pinned the link. Go to Herpes Live, bit.ly Herpes Live, $5, ask your question, and I will answer it. The idea behind this is so that you can ask your juicy, your uncomfortable questions. Amy said, I've tried 2 different brands of lysine. They're so big, I have a hard time getting them down. Are you trying the Natural Cure Labs? That's the best. They're sold out right now. I have the lysine Monolaurin one linked for you. Let me show you the size of the pill. I don't feel it's that, oops, that's empty. I don't feel it's that large. This one is an extra strength. This pill is actually larger than the lysine Monolaurin. This is the largest pill they have. That does look kind of large, huh? This is the largest pill that they have. And this is the extra strength because they're able to pack more into one pill. But have you tried the Palmera brand? This is like the best out there. It's in the shop. I do have it pinned for you. You can check it out. So what's that? HSV1 and HSV2 here. All right, Emily, look at us. Look at us go. Does my husband have herpes? He does not. You're saying you have herpes. It's per doctor, as per doctor, cold sores. It only comes on one side of my lip and it goes. Yes, that's common for it to come to the same location and just show up like, hey, I show up in April and then I leave and that's it. Like, that's very common as well. Do I have it? I have both. I have HSV1 oral and HSV2 genital. Any way I can cure it? No is the like correct answer. Here's my long answer. If you want to, what is a cure? Right? Like up to this date, we haven't been able to cure viruses. So for any other type of viral infection, there's been some sort of way to make the virus go dormant or undetectable, yet we haven't rid the body. So we've been able to make it undetectable or lessen the symptoms. There is an antiviral you can be prescribed by your doctor. It's Valtrex, Valcyclovir, Acyclovir that can be prescribed by your doctor and it can lessen the symptoms. Is there a herpes cure? I believe that there's something out there in the rainforest with a teardrop that you have a bat and mix it with the nectar of a flower that blooms on the 3rd night after the first full moon and drink it in the moonlight. I have zero doubt that there's something out there. I have zero doubt there's something out there that we can do with breath work. I have zero doubt that we can heal our own bodies through calming our nervous system, through making sure we have nutrient-dense, mineral-dense diets, making sure we're eating clean, making sure we're detoxing, making sure we're living the best that we can do. So that's what I would say. Do I have outbreaks? So for HSV1, I don't get them often and at all. I've had 5 outbreaks in over 20 years. I've had herpes for 21 years. So I've had 5 outbreaks in 21 years. It was 14 years before my second outbreak, so it was a very long time. HSV-2, I do get them more often, and I do go in seasons where I will get them back to back to back to back, and then I'll go through seasons where I don't have them for a period of time. How long do you have to take the pills? So the antivirals can be prescribed to you for life. They can be prescribed to you, so that would be prophylactically, that would be to prevent outbreaks. They can be prescribed to you just when you have outbreaks. As far as the supplements, the one that I have pinned, the Monolaurin lysine, that's something you can choose to take when you feel your body needs it. You could take it prophylactically as well. I personally take it daily. What's lysine? L-lysine is an essential amino acid. It's a protein that helps block the replication of the herpes virus. So arginine fuels it. It helps replicate it. Arginine is another essential amino acid. So the lysine that I have, like this is the lysine. This helps block the replication. It helps block the arginine. Right now, Natural Cure Labs is sold out of it, but I do have pinned the lysine monolaurin combo, which is great because you get the monolaurin extract as well. You get the monolaurin support with less swallows, so you don't have to take both separately.